a lot of businesses, your business probably doesn't have a skill problem. You probably are the talent in your business. What you have is a leadership problem. You have a clarity problem. And the good news is we can build those skills too. Welcome to Bald Dad Business Club with the two bald dads. This is a podcast for small business owners who are building a life, not just a company. Hosted by, of course, two Midwestern bald dads.
That's what we are.
I'm Desi. This is Casey. And this show blends some real world leadership, practical marketing, and honest conversations, heavy on the honest, about running a business while also raising a family. Because if we're just being honest, mine's right out there, right? And Casey's probably at his building because he couldn't avoid the three munchkins who are probably having bath time right now.
Dude, it's hard sometimes, man. I got three, and it can be chaotic at times, Des. You get it.
Absolutely, man. So I know the best way to start this is the way that we love to start every conversation, which is tell me something good, brother.
Oh, man, life's been great lately. My 2-year-old, now 2-year-old, she just turned 2 yesterday, apple of my eye, love of my life, creator of 𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗟𝗍, complete tornado. So super excited about that. Just got done with a really big wrestling show on Saturday, big retro slam in Flint, Michigan, 2,500 people. I got to be with the Dayton family in Carlito. So it was super cool. My buddy Dom, shout out to Big Dom, took the Michigan State heavyweight championship. So all in all, dude, things are great. What's good in your life?
I tell you, we're in the middle of softball season, man. I'm a girl dad. Also, I know you are too as well. I got Hadley and Harper, and they are both slam and softball season. They're on the same team. Me and my wife are coaching together. Hadley's pitching awesome. Harper made an awesome play yesterday, and we got another one tomorrow. So
did she flash some leather out there, dude?
Oh man, yeah. She's striking out the side. It's fun. You know, I got the nervous dad jitters going on for sure.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's fun time. Talk about testing all of my leadership practices and principles, man, and coaching a 9U girls softball team with my wife. It's been fun though. It really has, and just mix in all of that stuff with business and helping people lead and everything. And it's not busy, but I was crazy. I just had like a 7 Zoom day, Zoom meeting day on Tuesday. And I used to have this different mindset of like, oh man, that's a lot of Zoom. Dude, now I play like a whatever I'm feeling, a song for the day, and I'm like, dude, I get to talk to people about leadership all freaking day.
Why is that song always from Rocky IV?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Listen, you guys, seriously, I caught Desi the other day just zooming from his truck.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like straight up, just truck zooming like a boss. Yep. It was great. So yeah, everybody knows obviously, now that we're leading into it a little bit. So Desi is as you can see on his shirt there, owner and creator of Mayner Leadership. So he's a leadership trainer. Myself, I am a marketing director, communications director, and consultant. So, you put our two bald dad wisdom together, and we're the kind of guys who are just great to talk about business, family, life, and the balance for it. So what do you say, Des? You want to hop into it?
Absolutely, man. So this first episode, both of us experienced this a ton, right? And we felt like this ourselves, which is why we're in the trenches and want to help other people with it. Of like, man, you didn't start a business to feel like you probably feel right now, right? It's not meant to. You're not meant to be the victim of your business. And so many people that we talk to, that's exactly what happens, right? Look, most business owners, they feel like they're drowning. And that, point blank pisses me off, makes me sad at the same time. Can you be raging and angry all at the same time, or raging and sad all at the same time?
Yes, you can.
I think that's possible. Yeah, any girl dad can definitely be that, right? But
dude,
go ahead, man.
No, I get it, because you know, in all the different types of businesses that have been in my life. And I originally come from operations, not marketing. So I get to see the ins and the outs of it. Just so many, especially men, like women get this too. But I feel like our women, and by the way, both of our wives are named Courtney, so that could get confusing at times.
So we got that also
for you, the viewer. So feel free to poke fun at us for that.
Yeah,
but sure. I feel like women tend to handle things a little bit better from balance. For us men, we tend to continue to beat our heads against a brick wall. And I think like when you first introduced that the title of the episode, feel like this can be interpreted in so many different ways. But I think what a lot of people are feeling, especially right now, especially with all of the economic drivers that are happening. I mean, shoot, gas in Michigan here just shot to $4.99 today. So we're dealing with that. This is just beating your head against the wall and feeling like you're slave to your own business, to the point where you work from the sun comes up till the sun comes down. And then after the kids go to bed, you're working again.
Yeah. Yeah, you're driving down the road, you know, eating a cheeseburger, shaving, texting your wife, and putting out 3 fires and emailing an angry customer, you know, all at the same time. And you already woke up at 4. You didn't get a workout in, and you know you're gonna plug back in after you get home.
Yep.
And I noticed I didn't say anything about making it to your kid's ball game. In there, or you know, taking your wife out to dinner or anything like that. And that, I mean, honestly, it's one of the biggest reasons that we started this whole thing, man.
Yeah.
Of like that makes us angry, you know, because you know those of you who are listening and watching, I know right now, both of us know you're great at what you do. That's not the problem, right? But you probably didn't learn, because they, you know, point blank don't teach it in school. How to manage a business, how to lead people, how to put systems in, how to do marketing at all. Or know anything about that aspect, and just how to run a real operation that isn't, you know, chucking a truck, or that isn't, you know, you trying to set your hair on fire. And here at the Bald Dad Business Club, we say, hey, we already pulled ours out.
Yes,
so
sir.
We're here to share a little bit about how not to pull yours out, right?
Oh yeah, for sure, man. And I love that you alluded to the drowning effect, because we are so prone to that as men. We think we can handle everything. We want everything life throws at us, right? We trust in God as we do, but you just feel like you're responsible for everything. And when that everything goes beyond just your family, and that everything moves into your employees and your relations with the community, that weight starts to get really heavy. And trust me, dude, I know about heavy weights. I got a couple world records. Yeah. But
Guinness
it's like
Book of World Records. Heck yeah.
I am small but mighty.
Yeah, and those of you who are also listening and watching, we have another thing in common, is that we played football against each other. Yeah, and we took a brief 20-year stint break, and we are now back colliding again.
Yes, with significantly less hair.
Yeah.
That's what we do, man. And Des, I want to, before you hop into your next point, if you don't mind, I just want to touch on the marketing piece here. So you said, you talked about how people aren't taught how to run a business. School doesn't teach you that. A lot of things in life don't teach you that. And I feel the same exact way about marketing. And I think a lot of it comes from what I call like guru culture. You know, I swiped up on TikTok. I saw this guy who said, this is exactly how you need to market your business. And I tried it for a couple of weeks and I didn't get any more leads. And it's so hard to know who to trust out there. And when you're beating your head against a wall, trying to see, okay, this is what works, this is what doesn't work, and you really have no idea how to do it, it becomes that drowning effect in terms of that. So there's just, don't worry, business owner out there or manager or whomever's listening to this, there is a lot of fluff, there is a lot of theory. There's not enough, how do I get the phone to ring? Or how do I get people in? And I'm glad you're here. Like, I'm glad that you're listening to this podcast, because I'm not going to give you any more of that fluff in theory. You know, I'm going to tell you what I see works in the actual real world. And we're assuming a lot of you guys out there are small business owners or medium-sized business owners. You know, it's maybe you, 3 other people, or you and a 10-person crew. We're here for you, and we're not going to give you that theory and fluff.
Yeah. We want you to make it to your kid's ball game and enjoy it while you're there versus having the phone screwed to your ear.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and we're going to say stuff like that because we know it's for real. Right. We know that you probably have your tool belt on standing on a roof somewhere and you haven't touched a damn tool in months. Right. Yeah. Because you've been on the phone the whole damn time. And your crew's probably telling you to get off the roof.
Yeah.
You know, and things like that. And I think Casey and I both have a pretty strong stance on the fluff and the theory aspect. Just like Casey said, like, so I'm the same way with leadership. Right. I'm also in the trenches every day. Like I am, you know, a fractional COO. Like I'm a fractional sales manager. Like I run teams every day, all day, in addition to teaching, training, and coaching. And like, you know, and I trust me, John Maxwell is the GOAT, the OG, but like he says a lot of things like leadership is influence. And I'm like, that's awesome. And yes, it's all totally true. What do I do with that on Tuesday at 2:00? Right? When, you know, I got an angry customer, when I got 2 team members that are fighting, right? That's what I'm all about. I'm about the Tuesday at 2:00. We're going to talk to you about operational leadership. We're going to talk to you about how to systemize things with your leadership. And we're going to talk about, here's what we screwed up this week. And here's what we learned. Like, we are not the gurus. We're the guys on the side, you know, that maybe is a half step ahead of you, or at least have coached, trained, and worked with someone who is. So that's what we're here to do. And here's what I'll say with this is that all of these things are skills. Like that's all they are. Like they can be learned, right? And that's what I want you to take home, even for this, of like, hey, you might feel like this, quote unquote, which you're going to fill in that blank of what this is. But like leadership's a skill. Marketing is a skill, right? And I can tell you all of it, right? Whether you are leading at home, whether you're leading yourself, whether you're trying to build your relationship with the Lord, whatever it may be, is that leadership. Your leadership is what matters more than any talent that you already have or already skill that you already have, right? A lot of businesses, your business probably doesn't have a skill problem. You probably are the talent in your business. What you have is a leadership problem. You have a clarity problem. You have an expectations problem. And the good news is we can build those skills too, just like, you know, how to be a plumber or electrician or roofer or orthodontist or medical billing. Like me and Casey have worked with like, I don't even know, man, over 50 different industries. Easily.
Oh yeah.
And obviously you're going to feel our passion. You're going to feel our intensity, our boldness, because we're here to help. And, you know, we're fired up about it. We're passionate about it. We're pissed about it, you know, and we both got daughters and kids that we're trying to forge a path for to create a better world. And we believe in this process of leadership in small business and the freedom and impact that it can provide.
Well, you're so head on, dude. I'm glad you mentioned Maxwell. Maxwell wrote a book once called "Many Communicate, Few Connect," and I slept through half of the book. I'm not gonna lie, but it's just he's just not exciting for me. That's all. Yeah. I'm not knocking the guy. Maxwell's a great writer, but for the way that in the style that I consume that kind of stuff, it doesn't work for me. But with that said, he talks about communication versus connection. And I think this applies to both leadership and the marketing world as well. You know, you talk about your Tuesdays at 2 p.m. You can communicate. You can over communicate. You can communicate until your ears are blowing steam like a freaking Warner Brothers cartoon in the early 90s. But if what you're communicating isn't clear in the way that the people on your crew or your audience needs it to be, then it's all for naught. So in the basis of that, I think Maxwell's right. And you talk about it in a leadership aspect, but when we're talking about it in a marketing aspect, brand is a big buzzword right now. And And I hate that everybody, when they cite brand, they always say like, oh, well, Nike does this or Coca-Cola does this. And listen, guys, girls, we'll never be those big brands. We won't.
Yeah.
And we should never aspire to be those big brands. They're not built the same way that we are. But when you're looking to reach your audience, whomever that may be, right? So we both work for a large independently owned orthodontist, right? And we know who our audience is, right? It's Midwestern moms. It's our Courtneys, right? We know that market well. So the brand needs to resonate with those people. And it's not about a fancy logo or which colors we use. It's how we build trust. It's how we build familiarity. It's how we build the emotional stock that people know that when they walk through our doors, right, they're going to feel taken care of. They're going to experience kindness. They're going to experience expertise, but not in a way that offends them or makes them feel talked down to. So that applies to anything, right? You're a roofer, right? I know you work with some roofers yourself, and I have many friends who are roofers. I've even been known to climb up there with a tool belt, a hammer, and no shirt on, to the dismay of my neighbors, and shoot down some shingles myself. But it's the same way. You come in and you need to talk to somebody who called you because they need a roof replaced. Well, you can walk in and you could say, this is how much it cost, and we'll probably be able to get it done now. But what does that do to connect with emotion? And it's the same way in leadership. How do you get your people to do what you need them to do? You can't just stand up there and bark orders. Does that work for our daughters, dude? Hell no. Hell no. I had
1 out of 10 maybe.
I had my 6-year-old daughter out just before we came here collecting chicken eggs, and she let her 2-year-old sister run free. And we have 2 Emden geese. And if you don't know anything about Emden geese, they're meat birds, and they're from Germany. So you already got an animal that's pissed off by nature. It's also German. Like they could be pretty mean, and for the most part, they leave them alone. We actually have them as guard dogs. They fight off the bald eagles. They don't kill the bald eagles. Don't worry, nature nuts right there. But the best way to fight America is apparently with Germany. It's like reverse World War II up in here. But she let her 2-year-old sister kind of run off and get there, and I yelled, and she just like immediately shut down. It wasn't even in, and at that point, once she shut down, there was really no bringing it back. And I tried to say, Palmer, I'm sorry, like, I'm not mad at you. I panicked because you're supposed to be watching your little sister, and you just let her run free. And she went into this, oh, I was scared. I've been attacked before. And I said, right, like, I get that. But, and so once you create that anger loop, and shame on me for being that way, and I know all you dads out there are the same way. You've probably done that before to your own kids, but I didn't realize it until I was driving to the armory here that, oh, I was communicating with her, but because of how I initially did it, it's nothing's going to connect after that. I have to let her have that cool down period. I have to apologize to my 6-year-old daughter, so she knows that I'm not coming after her. I just need her to do this a little bit better.
Right.
And that relates so much to what we're talking about, right? Running a business, marketing yourself, creating a brand that people trust. You have to be vulnerable, man.
Yeah, you gotta be transparent. I always talk about, like, I'm an open book, man. And that's why I don't hide anything. And I think that's what makes me so much more authentic. It's in leadership, like, there's that saying, like, fake it till you make it, but, like, you can't. People are always thinking that they need to know it all and they need to be the guru on the mountain, and you need to talk to your team and tell them what to do. But, like, man, just be transparent, be vulnerable, be authentic. Hey, I don't know. It's okay to say, but we're going to figure this out together.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Or, like, man, I don't know. What do you guys think is the best call? Is an okay statement to say,
Dude,
as a leader.
together
You don't
is
have to know it all.
together is such a strong term.
Yeah, yeah, and I love. I mean, you basically defined leadership there of like, look, man, it's just you, the business owner, leader, uh, trying to get a group of people, your team, to work together to accomplish a collective goal. You know, and I say bonus points happily, right? Because why do I add happily in there? Because happy people tend to work longer, harder, more accurately, and also go home better people, right? Which we like all of those things.
Oh yeah.
Right. I mean, we're big proponents and we love small business because of the freedom and impact that it provides, because you then get the opportunity to speak into your team's lives and lead your team and make them better leaders and better moms and better dads and better husbands and better wives, which then lead to stronger communities. Like, and that's like, that's the thing that I keep hammered down on every single day in all of my leadership coaching calls, you know, is like, look, those people who are looking at you in the face every morning at your tailgate meeting, you know, or in your marketing strategy, like, you are changing those people's lives for the better or for the worse. Right then and there, right? Talking about whatever Mrs. 𝗥𝗲𝗱𝗆𝗆's electrical job or whatever it might be, right? You know, Susie's braces, all of the above. Like, you're changing lives for the better or for the worse right then and there. And that's a really important aspect, right? Like, you can't take that lightly. You know, you can't take that lightly. But like, the good news is that you're the solution as much as you were the problem.
That's powerful too, man. Like, recognizing that you are in most cases the problem. You know, I touched a little bit earlier on vulnerability as a leader, and I know it's something you preach massively. I've heard you talk about this time and time again. When you are vulnerable, you can expect your people to be vulnerable. And, you know, as men, we see it a little bit differently than women, but there's always going to be like work and business and family, and they're always going to do this, right? And we don't want to sacrifice one to cannibalize the other. But as a leader, if you see your employees not as they do work, I pay them, but you start to see them for what they have at home too, which is a lot easier when you are feeling that same way and you're vulnerable with them. You can expect the tit for tat. You'll get it back from them. You know, hey, Ronnie, man, I noticed you're a little weak swinging that hammer today. I don't know why I went back to roofing, but I did. Dude, like, let's take 5, man. What's up? Tell me about it. And at that point, you probably know their families' names and you know if there's situations going on at home. But the levity that you can create in somebody and the empowerment that they feel when you put that invisible hand on their back to say, like, dude, I know it's tough. I know you probably aren't going to be as productive today, but give me the best you got and I'll give you the best that I got. And that is
we'll go build this wall together.
Damn right, dude. And as a leader, that's so strong. And even more so, you convey that to your audience, that is how your business is. You're a business that meets somebody where they're at. Like, we talk, inclusivity has been a huge topic. Not so much in like the last year or two, but, you know, for the past 7, 8 years before that. And inclusivity can take so many different routes, right? We can talk about like inclusive is different people of color. Inclusivity can mean, you know, ADA compliancy. But for me, inclusivity always meant like meet somebody where they are. You know, I want to be able to tell somebody, I don't care what's going on in your life. Well, I mean, I care, but I don't see that as a barrier to things. You know, for like, let's say affordability is a huge thing right now, right? Yes, my goods or services are still going to cost what they're going to cost because I need to make a certain amount of money. My input, right? My commodities cost a certain amount of money, but I want you to be able to have this because I know you need it, or I know it's going to benefit you massively. So I'm willing to work with that, you know, create, in some industries, it's creating a payment plan that works for somebody. In other ways, it's figuring out how to get creative financially so that it works for somebody. or, hey, I know we can't do this now, but in 6 months, I will call you and check up on how you're doing to see if we can make this happen. Like, people don't, you might think of that as a sales thing. That is entirely a marketing thing, because once people understand that that's how you run your business, you and I have a mutual friend who's just like that. His name's Wayne Macklin. Right? He owns a heating and cooling company, small family operation. Now, Wayne had a very large commercial HVAC business at one time, but it was running away from him. He wasn't able to give that same feeling to his customers. So he panned it down to what he could control as a good, strong, faithful leader, and built up the trust to now. You mentioned HVAC to anybody, they know exactly who they're going to recommend. That's a marketing strategy on its own. Like, it's huge.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I want to hit on something. I want to give a quick masterclass because you're talking about these relationships, all right?
Mm-hmm.
So here's your Tuesday at 2:00 masterclass for relationships, all right? So 5 pieces to building a relationship. First thing is trust, right? And all 5 of these pieces, in order to build a relationship, you got to give them to get them. Okay, so you got to show that you trust them in some way, shape, or form. I'm not saying give them the keys to the Lambo, right? Which we don't do Lambos around here. We do Chevys, right? But you got to give a little trust before they trust you. Care. Before they care about you and your business, you got to show that you care about them as a person, right? You're not just employee number 7, right? Respect. You got to find out what is it that they respect, and then you need to show respect to that too. Is it promptness? Is it pro wrestling? Whatever it is that they respect, you need to show respect to it as well. Same thing with influence. What is it or who is it that influences them? And then you need to allow that, as long as it's a good influence, allow that to influence you a little bit for the good. And then the last piece is listening. You want them to listen to you, you listen to them. How do you listen to somebody? You ask them a question. Trust, care, respect, influence, and listen. That is how to tactically build a relationship with every single person that you encounter within your business, whether it's a customer or whether it's a team member. Both of them work. And by the way, that's law number 1 of leadership, the most important law, which is unite and support. You have to bring unity to your team, and they have to support each other. And that starts with you, the leader. So get tactical, build some relationships, and that's exactly how to do it. It happens when you're riding in the truck, when you're drinking a Gatorade on your break, and fill in the blank. Any type of water cooler situation, you can do that, and you can do it really quickly. Remember the water coolers where you had like at the shops and stuff?
Oh yeah, with the little conical cups.
Yeah,
little chalice.
What'd you do this weekend, buddy?
I'm telling you, dude. Unity starts with you. If somebody hasn't made it into a T-shirt yet, like, we need to make some Mayner Leadership T-shirts. Say unity starts with you. That's so killing, man. Well, hey.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the benefits of having a marketing guy on with you. He pulls out nuggets like that all the time.
That's what we do, man. That's what we do. But I want to, before we wrap, man, I kind of want to just set the table for what people can expect from the Bald Dad Business Club, because this isn't just 2 dudes being like, hey, let's put up microphones and have an excuse to escape our wives for a couple of hours. It truly is, man. Like we want to help. We want to set the expectations at the onset. And you're sitting there at home, and you're 28 minutes into 2 Midwestern bald girl dads talking about business, and you're wanting to know, what is the future going to hold for this? So I think you can expect real talk, practical lessons, and mistakes. And the mistakes thing is huge, because with the 50 plus industries that we've worked with and all the lessons in life that we've learned, and I know for a fact, brother, you've got just as many, if not more, downfalls in your life that you've had to recover from. So
unfortunately, yes.
So not only the wins,
which that could be a whole thing in itself.
Exactly. It's not only the wins, but also the mistakes, man, and how those relate to business conversations. This isn't corporate garbage and bullshit. It's not vanity metrics for the sake of vanity metrics. This is 2 dudes who understand the shit that you've been through, wanting to help you. And really, man, that's the success definition for me. What do you got?
Yeah, I think that one of the things that we want to get across is that like winning is not just more money. Like, sure, we love that. It helps. It makes things comfortable. But like, I know that my dad passed away way too young. Which is probably one of the reasons I'm even sitting here today. I still love him, but he worked in the shop the last day of his life. And then my grandpa, was very similar to that, but it was like money and hard work and all of those things. And I thought, why can't I have some money and some freedom?
Amen.
Like, why can't I have both? Right. But I'm telling you right now, I've got some non-negotiables and Casey's got some non-negotiables that I don't care. Like, the answer is no if it comes across one of my non-negotiables, because those two little girls out there and my wife out there, they mean a whole lot more than any moolah.
Amen,
Right?
dude.
My health, a whole lot more than any moolah. Right? It's about peace. It's about harmony. It's about all of those things at home. Right? Because like, if you're escaping home to get to work, like, what the hell are we doing here, man? Like, Casey, we're literally sacrificing time at home because we care about the shit so much.
Amen, dude.
Right? We care about how you treat your team. Right? So like, that's success to me, man, is that you're making money, you're profitable, sure. You love what you do. Your team will run through a brick wall for you, right? And your kids see you at their ball game. You don't miss one because you're the girl dad that goes on every, as many field trips as you possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
Because why? Because you said that's a non-negotiable, right?
Amen,
or
dude.
whatever your non-negotiables are. But that, like, to me, that's success.
That's
right?
perfect,
That's what we're
man.
gonna talk about.
Perfect, dude. I love that. And I love how it perfectly segues into what we'll be talking about next week, which is how to build a business without losing your family. So this has been the Bald Dad Business Club. I'm Casey. That's Desi. And we'll see you guys next week.